Hello, welcome back to LK Tuition. My name's Lucas and today we're going to look at solving quadratics by factorising. Hope you're good and let's get cracking. So let's just have a quick recap on factorising quadratics. There is another video on this, so please check that out if you are not sure about this, but just a quick recap. So remember that for a quadratic expression with a single x squared term, that's all we're going to be worried about today. So x squared plus px plus q, where p and q are just integers. We want to find a pair of numbers that add to make p, so add to make the number in front of x, and multiply to make q, the number on its own. For example, with the equation x squared plus 9x plus 14, a pair of numbers that works is 2 and 7, because 2 plus 7 is 9 and 2 times 7 is 14. So this factorised would be, because it's 2 and 7, it'd be x plus 2, x plus 7. Okay, so now let's look at solving equations once we've factorised them. So now let's turn that expression into an equation. So it's exactly the same as what we've had before. So x squared plus 9x plus 14, but we've stuck it equal to 0. Okay, and we can make all quadratic expressions with one x squared term look like this. Now we factorise it, well that's what we've just done, x plus 2, x plus 7, and that's still equal to 0. And then the key fact is that when you've got two things timesing together to make 0, one of them must be 0. So if we've got x plus 2 and x plus 7, they're timesing together to make 0, then either x plus 2 must be 0 or x plus 7 must be 0. You can't times two numbers together that are not 0 and get 0. Try it with your calculator, one of them has to be 0. Okay, so from this then, so we've just said, haven't we, that either x plus 2 is 0 or x plus 7 is 0. So let's look at the first one. If x plus 2 is 0, then a quick solve, take away 2 from both sides, x must be minus 2. If x plus 7 is 0, take away 7 from both sides, x is minus 7. Therefore, the two solutions to the quadratic equation are x is minus 2 and x is minus 7. Okay, and you can substitute these numbers in to check. So let's just do that quickly. So we'll just put minus 2 in. So we've got x squared, let's write it out, x squared plus 9x plus 14. Oops. Let's put in minus 2, so this is going to be minus 2 squared plus 9, times minus 2 plus 14. Now minus 2 times minus 2 is 4. 9 times minus 2 is minus 18, and then we've got plus 14. And that gives 0 because we've got 4 plus 14 is 18, minus 18 is 0. So that's all good. Okay, so another little trick then. So this is kind of like the logic behind it, but as soon as you've factorised it, and this again only works when you've got one x squared term, so we factorised it to x plus 2, x plus 7 equals 0. From that, you can just, whatever these two numbers are, you can just minus them, and that will give you your two solutions. But this is the kind of logic behind it, and this is what will work if you're doing higher and you end up having to factorise expressions where you've got more than one x squared term. Okay, but for these normal, kind of these simpler ones, you can just, whatever these numbers are, just do the minus of them. And we'll do that with some more examples in a bit. Okay, so here are three equations. We want to solve them. And I'll pause the video if you want to. Otherwise, we shall do them together. Alright then, so we've got x squared plus 13 plus 36. So we want two numbers that times to make 36 and add to make 13. Well, I reckon that is going to be 9 and 4. So x plus 9, x plus 4 is 0. So again, we can just do the minus of these two numbers. So our solutions are x is minus 9 or minus 4. Okay, next one, we've got x squared minus 5 and, x squared minus 5x plus 4. So two numbers that times to make 4 and add to make minus 5. Well, that's going to be x minus 4 and x minus 1 is 0. And for our x's, we just minus these. So instead of minus 4, we get plus 4. And instead of minus 1, we get plus 1. Okay, and then finally, we've got x squared minus 17 minus 60. So we want two numbers that times to make minus 60 and add to make minus 17. So there should be an x there, sorry. So that's an x. And I think what's going to work with that is x minus 20, x plus 3 is 0. Then we just minus these numbers here. So instead of minus 20, we're going to get plus 20. And instead of, just make sure that's 20 and not 26. And instead of plus 3, we get minus 3. And that is that. Okay, so that is when your equation already looks like how you want it to look. But now sometimes you might have to rearrange the quadratic. So if you've got one where there's different things on each side, you want to rearrange it so that it's all on one side, equal to 0, so you can factorise and solve as usual. So for example, the equation x squared plus 8x is 20 can be rearranged so we can take off the 20 from both sides, and then we get x squared plus 8x minus 20 equals 0, which we can then solve, which I think is plus 10 and minus 2. Yeah, so this would be, let's just solve it, why not? This is going to be x plus 10, x minus 2 is 0, and then swap the signs, so x is going to be minus 10 or plus 2. Okay, so here's a few more examples where you have to rearrange. We've got different letters as well, but don't let that put you off. Pause the video, have a go, otherwise we shall have a go together. Alright, so the first one, we just want to get rid of this 27. So let's take away 27, from both sides. So we're going to be left with y squared minus 6y minus 27 equals 0. That will factorise to, is that going to be minus 3? No, minus 9 and plus 3. So y minus 9, y plus 3 is 0. Swap the signs, you're going to get y is 9 or minus 3. Next one then, a squared equals 8a minus 15. So let's get everything on the left. So we've got a squared, we'll take away the 8a, and then because it's minus 15, we'll add 15, and that is 0. Then we can factorise that. So what's that going to be? I think that's going to be minus 3, a minus 3, and a minus 5 is 0. So a is going to be, swap the signs, 3 or 5. Okay, and then finally, we're going to have a go at this one. So we've got z squared plus 9z plus 2 equals 8z plus 58. So again, let's get everything on the left-hand side. So we've still got z squared. Now 9z, we'll take away the 8z from the other side. So 9z take away 8z, you're just left with 1z. And then you've got 2, but we want to take away 58. So this is going to end up being minus 56. Okay, and we want two numbers now that times to make minus 56 and add to make 1. So that is going to be z minus 7, z plus 8 is 0. Change the signs, z is going to be 7 or minus 8. Great. Alright then, so let's have a pop at a worded example. So Megan's cat weighs 3 kilograms more than Henry's cat. The product of the cat's weights is 10 kilograms. Write an equation to represent this. Okay, well if Henry's cat, let's say Henry's cat is x, then Megan's cat is 3 kilograms more, so that is x plus 3. And we've got that their products are 10. So x times x plus 3 is 10. And then if we expand these brackets, we're going to get x squared plus 3x equals 10. Now we want to solve the equation to work out the cat's weights. That is frustrating me that I put the apostrophe the wrong way around. So apostrophe after the s because it's more than one cat. And then, so we want to take away the 10 from both sides. So x squared plus 3x minus 10 equals 0. So we want two numbers at times to make minus 10 and add to make 3. Well, that is going to be x minus 2, x plus 5. And then we swap the signs. So x is either 2 or minus 5. Okay, now Henry's cat is x. And we've got here that x is either 2 or minus 5. Now, I ain't never seen no cat that weighs minus 5 kilograms. If you have, get on the blower to Guinness World Records. You can't have a negative weight. I wish we could. So, it cannot be, let's use a bit of a, can we use a red highlighter? Yeah, it cannot be that. It's got to be 2. So, because you can't have a negative weight. So, Henry's cat then, so Henry cat is x, which is just 2 kilograms, so it's quite a diddy little nipper. And then Megan's cat is going to be 3 kilograms more, which is 5 kilograms, a chunky boy. Okay, so I think we've got one final question to have a little look at. Now, this is a challenging question. Okay, so we've got a little hint in the question. We want to use Pythagoras to find the area of the triangle below. Okay, so let's give it a go and see what we end up with. All right then, so Pythagoras then, just to recap, is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, where this is the c, this is the longest side, and a and b doesn't matter which one's which. So let's just write this out then. So this is going to be x plus 5 squared plus x minus 2 squared equals 2x minus 1 squared. Okay, now let's just expand these brackets out then. So x plus 5 times x plus 5, that is going to be x squared plus 5x plus another 5x plus 25. X minus 2 squared is going to be x squared minus 2x plus 4. And then this 2x minus 1 squared is going to be 4x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, so this is a challenging question. This is a higher question. So this is definitely a challenge. So don't worry if this is a bit more tricky than we've been doing so far. Now let's tidy up all of these terms. So how many x squareds have I got? Well, on the left hand side, I've got 2x squareds. How many x's have I got? Well, I've got 5 plus 5 is 10. Minus 2 is 8, and minus another 2 is 6. So we've got 6x. And then the numbers, I've got 25 plus 4, which is 29. Okay, and on the right hand side, I can have 4x squared. I've got minus 2x, which is minus 4x, and I've got plus 1. Okay, I think we're doing okay so far. Now, let's get everything on the left-hand side and see what we end up with. So, if we take away the 4x squared from 2x squared, we're going to be left with minus 2x squared. Now, we've got minus 4x on the right, so we're going to add it to get rid of it. So, 6x plus 4x is 10x. And we've got 1 on the right, so we take it away from 29. We've got 28, which is 0. Okay, so now we've got a quadratic all on the left-hand side. Now, this does not look like what we want because we've got this, let me grab a different colour highlighter, because we've got this minus 2 in front of the x, so we can't use our technique that we've done already. But 0 divided by anything is just going to be 0. So actually, I can divide everything in this equation by minus 2, and it's going to make things a lot nicer. So let me grab a different colour. So dividing by minus 2 is just going to leave us x squared. 10 divided by minus 2 is minus 5. And 28 divided by minus 2 is minus 14. And 0 divided by minus 2 is just 0. Now we're cooking. So now we want two numbers, times to make 14, add to make minus 5, that is going to be x minus 2, x plus 7 is 0. So swap the signs, you're going to have x is 2 or minus 7. Okay, so we've figured out x. Now think again like we did before about the actual situation. X is either 2 or minus 7. Now it can't be minus 7 because if you think about this side on its own, if it was minus 7, you'd have minus 7 minus 2, you'd have a length of minus 9, which makes no sense. So x has got to be 2. So let's write that down. So x is 2. Okay, and then finally we need to remember what we're answering, and that is that we want to find the area of the triangle. So we need base times height. So here we've got the... Oh, I don't like that we've ended up with, because 2 minus 2 would be 0. Oh, I don't like that at all. Have we done this correct? Okay, so that's my little spider sense that makes me think I've maybe done this question wrong. So let's just double check. So x squared plus 5x plus 5x plus 25 plus x squared minus 2x plus 4, okay, is 4x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, I'm happy with that. Simplifying this, we get 2x squared, we get 6x, and we get 29, yeah, and then we get, yeah, okay, happy with that. Minus 2x squared, yep, okay, happy with that. Divide by minus 2. Yeah, I'm happy with that as well. So minus 2. Oh, there we go. Okay, great. So my spider sense was good. Because we end up with minus 5, that must be plus 2, and that should be minus 7. So x is minus 2 or plus 7. So x is 7. Okay, great. So this is a good way to kind of, you know, if you keep going, you find a mistake, go back, see if you can correct it. So x is 7, and that's going to make our life a lot easier. Okay, so we can now fill in these things. So this is going to be 7 minus 2, which is 5, and the height is going to be 7 plus 5, which is 12. So the area is going to be, well, for a triangle, it's base times height divided by 2. 5 times 12 is 60, and 60 divided by 2 is 30. So the area is 30 units squared. Okay, so sorry about that mistake, but hopefully, you know, we all make mistakes, and it gives you a chance to figure out, you know, why is that wrong? You know, you've come up to a problem later on, going back, checking your working and fixing it. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. It's been a long video today, but this has been LK Tuition. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for some more maths videos.